Today we are turning this pile of lumber into a sauna building. We bought waterfront vacant land and we're turning it into the ultimate recreation getaway. My goal is to inspire you to go out and make stuff of your own. If I can do it, then you certainly can too. We're well into summer here at the property and we've been really busy building things, but we're also really just enjoying the land with friends and family. We swim, we fish, we relax, we have campfires, we camp. When everybody leaves and the fun's over, we turn to building, which is also fun in its own way. And this is one of the more satisfying parts, I think, the framing. I drew up the framing plan on SketchUp, and I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to framing. So I relied heavily on Google search and YouTube to come up with kind of like a plan of where each stud would go. I'm sure I did some of it wrong and I missed some stuff, but we'll see if it stands. Having the drawing for the framing actually made the assembly pretty fun. It's kind of just like assembling IKEA furniture, except it's a lot bigger, and instead of using an Allen key, you just use a thing that goes bang. And I like assembling IKEA furniture. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I find it pretty satisfying. So this is just a bigger version of that. After finishing the first wall, it started raining suddenly, so we had to tarp it, and we resumed the next morning. Putting the plywood on the wall before standing the wall up was a sweet trick that somebody shared. It saves you from the awkwardness of hanging plywood while the wall's vertical, and it also allows you to square up the wall while it's laying down. It's not a huge wall, so it works really well. We need to nail this in right here, but this thing is a little bit warped. And the solution to that is to nail this temporarily here, and then take something to pry it. Get it to the line. Two walls up and it feels good. Now we just cut out the hot room window and say hi to a visiting friend. The back wall is all framed up and we actually had to hang the plywood on this, so I just summoned one to float to me. And then we made a fancy little lever out of a 2x4 and a piece of wood. Works smarter, not harder, I guess. Alright, so we're still working on the framing of the sauna. We've got the front wall framed up except for the door because we're not sure what size of door, and same with the hot room. We've got that framed up except for the two studs for the door because we don't have the door for that yet. And then we're going to start working on the roof. So here's the window for the change room and here's the window for the hot room. I'll show you the view from the inside. We've done all 5 walls, the interior wall, the exterior wall, but the building wasn't quite square. Like the floor is square and the walls are square, but the top wasn't square. It's a little bit of a trapezoid. So we measured it out and it was 1 inch off square. And then we took a ratchet strap and ratcheted it from there to there. And then screwed this in to just hold it in place while we make the roof. So the next thing is we're gonna be putting this beam up there and then hanging all the joists, I don't know what they're called, but you hang those up there off of the ridge beam. So that's next. All right, so we've made this little notch thing to sit the beam on temporarily. And then I'm going to put another thing over there and sit the ridge beam on it, and then we'll start putting up the joists. I didn't mention this before, but we went with 8x12 as the footprint, mostly because we wanted a fairly sizable sauna room and a little change room in front. We want to share this sauna with people. We want people to come over and sauna with us. So an 8x8 sauna footprint is great for that. And 8x12 also lends itself to using building material effectively. Like a sheet of plywood is 4x8 and multiples of that make 8x12. And plywood prices are no joke right now. The sun is setting on another day of work. Friends that were camping at the property spent a lot of the day helping us, and we spent the evening playing cards with them inside the empty shell. All right, back at it with the roof framing and house wrap. Our amazing friends wrapped the building for us while I was up top working on the roof.
Push that in, it'll be pretty much...
Like it ran out right then?
Oh no!
So
no, it's fine. It's too big anyways. The roof went up smoothly and the sheathing went well too. We only had to hit pause because I ran out of gas in the nailer, which feels kind of dumb. The closest store is like 20 minutes away. Buy extra gas, John. Come on. You may notice the roof has no overhang and there's a gap between the wall sheathing and the roof sheathing. This is done on purpose. I'll share more when we do the siding, but this is a clever kind of way I came up with for venting. But you'll see more of that when I show you the roofing and the siding.
It's a little small, isn't it?
Yeah, but you could like crawl up here and sleep.
Because it would also be closed off here, right?
Yeah. Or it doesn't have to be. You can just not insulate the top. Insulate it. So I'm almost done sheathing this thing. It's hot up here even though it's a cold day. Just have one last little piece to do, and then that's it for the roof. The last step is just to frame up the end walls and to tarp the roof because we don't have any roof material yet for this. We've made more progress on the sauna than we've shared here, and we're going to share those in videos really soon, so if you want to follow along, feel free to do so.